The Whine and Cheese Show is a Metaverse and NFT discussion and interview series brought to you by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and host BEN68 and Morecheese. Warning: the information and opinions within are solely the views of the individuals involved and contains content not suitable for anyone.
G'day and welcome to episode 46 of the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show.
Today we talked to Maxdaemon about how he got into the Metaverse, what motivated him to get into racing, and his racetrack in Rio.
So get ready to go racing in Rio in another super shitty episode of
The worst show ever.
Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Whine and Cheese. Time for Whine and Cheese. Cheese. One is a wanker, one's slinging stunts. One's from Australia, one's from the Bronx. Talking about the Metaverse and NFTs. Interviewing all the real crypto G's.
Hello, and welcome to the Whine and Cheese in the Metaverses show. This is episode 46. I'm here with my co-host, Ben. I don't know which way to point. And we have Maxdaemon here. He has a really awesome racetrack to show us later. For now, he is going to be our guest host, and he's going to give his very biased opinion on articles we go over. Upland, Ben.
I was just having a wine. I don't know. Do you want me to dive into that already?
Oh God, you better wake up. All right, so there's cars. There's cars. They're going on sale again.
Yes.
Which car do you have, Max?
I don't actually have a car yet. I like just past director level, so like my net worth in the game isn't even all that much, but I just registered for the one this morning, so
Nice.
hopefully I
Good
can
luck.
get myself an SUV.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want a semi truck.
A semi, yeah. Yeah, well, I just had a nice big sale come through that I was just
I'm
shaking
jealous.
my, or pump of, what do you say? Thrust of my
feather?
fists, and I don't know. I was just having a little party moment. Woo! So yeah, I've got my budget for cars, but I'm not going to FOMO into anything. I know exactly what I want, and if it's not available, I'm not going to just grab something just for the sake of grabbing it.
What do you want?
I'm not going to say.
Oh, oh,
Well,
there should
you
be
already
two
know.
things. There should be two things you want.
I want 2 race cars and I want 2 semi-trailers.
All right.
But obviously, I'm not going to get those all at once. So, but yeah, the
Oh,
semi-trailers. One of the semi-trailers for the business. One of the semi-trailers will. I would assume we're going to have to transport these race cars around at some stage. I don't want to be
that.
driving. Don't want to be driving my race car from Midtown Terrace to bloody Hollywood for a race or something like that. So,
True that.
We'll
True
see.
that.
but yeah, definitely not going to FOMO into anything. And if the color that I want's not available, I'm not going to get a bright orange one.
I
if
like the
that's
bright
only-
orange. Are you kidding me? Like, all right, so you get the boring
You're a
colors.
cheese. You're supposed to love orange and
No,
yellow.
but
and-
not even that. It's like, all right, you have the black, boring. You have the gunmetal, boring. And then you have bright yellow, red, orange. Like, you're seen. Everybody can
Blech.
see you.
So what about when like painting and all that stuff's an option? Would you buy one that's a different color and just go paint it?
That's true.
Nah, well, my race car was black with black and yellow was my race car. So that's what I'd be looking. I want a black race car and I'll get yellow wrap highlights put on it at some stage. So
You have a little cheese on there, melting as you go, as you burn rubber all over the
Probably
floor.
not.
You'll be burning
Probably
cheese.
not. That's weird.
I know.
No, I don't want to do that.
Could use blocks of cheese when you park. You make sure that
Exactly.
it doesn't roll.
Stop the wheels from rolling, mate. Yeah, so yeah, it just happens to fall on the one night of the week, or the one night that I can sleep in is Saturday night, sleep in Sunday, and of course the sale's tonight. So my one sleep in of the week is gone.
You get up, you buy your car, you go back to sleep.
Get up at 1 a.m. and you know what, my brain's like cheese. I'll get up and I'll check my messages. There'll be 500,000 messages and there'll be something going on with Samurai Aquatics and my brain will start going and there's no more going back to sleep. So I'll have to make sure I have a grandpa nap this afternoon.
Why don't you just stay up late enough?
I'm
and then
not
sleep
a
in
stay up.
after.
He's
Yeah.
he's one of those morning people. Like I'm a late person, so I could stay up. If I don't
Yeah.
lay down, I'm good to go forever, probably. But he's the
And
kind
I've
of
got-
person that gets up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah, because I got 3 kids. There's no such thing as sleeping in. It's, even if the kids did sleep in, I'm going to get slapped on the head by the wife. Or you get up and do something. So yeah, that's just a little bit personally frustrating. But I'm definitely super stoked to see more cars get available because it's kind of a bit, I don't know, ridiculous is the right word, but it's they release all these cool racetracks. They're doing these things with racetracks, but nobody's got cars. It's
Yeah.
Or
it's
just
like
like the few people got cars.
it's almost like they tied their own shoes together.
Yeah.
Or something, and it's like we're trying to make steps forwards and just
Let's go for a
fall
jog.
every time. Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Do you watch
So
Always
we'll-
Sunny? Have you seen Always Sunny, Max?
I don't think so.
Oh, it reminded me of that episode where they tied the waiter's shoes with the spaghetti. You gotta watch it. It's funny. Go ahead, Ben. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
I was just going to say the other big news that dropped, of course, is that we have nominating official residences in Upland, which was cool. And
I was driving Ben crazy with that.
That was pretty cool. Because have you guys heard of the Woodhood or Sherwood Forest in Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm a part of that group, and it's just
Nice.
like that Discord has been crazy. Ever since that announcement, and we like one of the guys started like a 50-50 raffle that we're gonna do for everybody who's a resident.
Oh,
and
cool.
I don't know, just a ton of stuff. We're working on like getting a bunch more of those micro houses started so that hopefully we can like get our numbers up, because we're already halfway to Portage Park, and I think the node that we have
Oh,
is
wow.
only 5 months old, 6 months old, something like that.
That well
So-
done.
you just got to be careful with trying to build as many of the small buildings as you can. That might work out in the short term, but in the long term, you might shoot yourself in the foot because there's certain stats related to how many living units and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
We've been through that way back in the
Yeah,
UDU
and-
days.
Yeah, we did even talk about that in the Discord. It was more like a handful of players who are like in the community but don't have a house yet,
Yep.
We're just gonna build one until they could build their forever home so that they
Yeah,
could
cool.
slap their address in. But
Nice.
See, I'm pretty opposite. Whereas in the less people in my note, the better.
Well, you were
I'm
like
a miserable
that bloody.
bastard.
You were like that GIF with the kid with the 2 cookies, and he's like this.
I didn't know where to.
You didn't know which
go.
cookie to freaking
All
buy.
right, so I was bothering Ben all day yesterday. I'm like, Ben, I have my node, but I also want to be in your node because it's a Genesis node, but I want to be in my node because it's Bronxdale and I created it and I'm so proud of it and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? Then I decided to do the Bronxdale node because it's better to have the UDU in a lot of different areas with a foothold. When I did this node, I only included the UDU. There are a few stragglers, but at the same time, like I'm happy about that. Like I didn't even set my place yet. I didn't even build my home yet because I was busy building everybody else in my node. So we'll see. So 3 days I get to set my address.
Yeah, it's one of those funny things. Like we have actively encouraged people to start their own projects. So of course people are going to nominate their residents in their own project, but it doesn't mean that much. It's just fluff at the moment, and you can change it. It's not like it's not such a brutally impactful decision. You can change it in 24 hours.
I just want to. I would be happy with that.
You really should be able to nominate one residence in every city. That's
or at least like a primary and a secondary or something.
Yes, primary and secondary. I just sent you something that I just saw right now that Dirk retweeted, Ben.
all right. Well, I'm purposely not checking squirrels while we're in the middle of recording shows, but if that's something we can do as part of our spearage,
Yeah.
do you want to bring that up straight up, seeing as though we're in the
Sure.
Upland segment?
Sure. You don't want to share it? I sent you the link.
Me.
Ben. He's
Let
getting
me see if I can find it.
funny with me for no reason whatsoever right now.
No, I just remember I got myself in trouble checking squirrels and then had to
Yep,
go back and
yeah.
edit things. And
Yep.
where are we?
Right there.
Upland sustains mass market readiness with all-inclusive ad. Awesome. Try again. Upland sustains mass market readiness with all-inclusive economy. Upland is a mobile-first blockchain metaverse that allows yada yada yada. Upland maintains and expands economy. Here we go. Upland has been quietly expanding, growing.
You're still on the
maintaining, and-
Discord.
Huh?
You're still on the Discord. You have to change your share. There you go.
What? What was I sharing? Our
Discord.
DMs.
Discord, yeah. There you go. Good job.
All right. So what is this about?
I don't know. I just saw it, but it's about Upland from Bitcoin.com, and it looks really cool. And Dirk shared it, so I think maybe we're talking about Upland. So it just makes
Upland
sense.
maintains and expands metaverse economy. Upland has been quietly expanding, growing, maintaining, and expanding the metaverse economy. The platform is not only an acquisition game. Oh, I've never heard it being called an acquisition game before. Selling plots of metaverse land to its 392,746 monthly active users. Now
That number is inflated from the last one I seen.
Yeah, there's people who are blockchain rippers that we know that dive into all of the blockchain stats and this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, a company's definitely gonna, I don't know if inflate is the correct term, but they're definitely always going to side on the number that works best for them.
Right. Or it could have even been the record high or something.
Yeah, and 400,000, almost 400,000 monthly active users.
I know that I'm sure there's at least around 300,000, but
then the next number is way too low. Upland has sold NFTs worth more than $3 million. That's way more than that. Like Upland put out a thing recently where the USD out economy has made 7 million already. So
wow.
I don't know. 242,000 and change active users in the last 30 days.
Okay, that's the number that I've seen.
The platform can put its success down to the meaningful value that an Upland experience brings to a user. Upland's mixed reality, monopoly-based gameplay is broadly appealing to the masses, and Upland is created for a broad user base, not niche gamers. The Unity-based 3D world will slowly get more creative tools for developers and users. Unity-based 3D world, is that meaning cars?
Yeah. So I've heard a lot of people, and I've been paying attention to like a lot of the guys who are working on trying to develop some of this stuff, and like just guys that do like 3D modeling and that type of stuff. And a lot of them have been talking about how Upland is gonna be, at least for anything that's not like completely second layer, they're gonna use Unity for basically everything that they make. So like racing in the game will be built on Unity and that type of stuff.
Cool. And yeah, it even says here Upland users more than bagging Upland users more than $7 million to date collectively. Rio de Janeiro, Rio. Yeah, I don't know about them figures. Have you heard any of that stuff about the figures, Cheese? You dialed into that side of things?
No.
No. Interesting. Well, I hope it's true.
Did you guys go to Rio at all?
The first time.
First time.
Yeah, I got a pretty cool Copacabana all the way in the south. It's not on the main shore, but it's at the bottom. It's got beachfront, but it's not the main one. I like it though. It's nice.
Nice.
It's its own little place. How about you?
Yeah, so I went down for the stress test, got a couple in the stress test, flipped them really quick, and then
Nice.
jumped straight down to my racetrack, because I had a group of people that we got together to go mint up the racetrack and make sure we could get enough ownership percentage.
That's
So
cool.
that was what I did for the rest of the release.
That's really cool. You got a racetrack there. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, and then I did go in for the second release just yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever that was.
How was that? Because I heard that a lot of people couldn't send.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did like that didn't end up being as much of a problem for me just because I'd spent a lot of time making sure I was ready so that that wouldn't be a problem, you know what I mean? But I did really well. But I did hear a lot of people got got pretty much chewed out the door in a sense just because they couldn't get anything, and then by the time everything had been fixed and set up again, they didn't have a game plan and they didn't have whatever else going on. And I mean, any of the guys who have a game plan or have just the more time you spend in preparation, I feel like the better a city release goes for you. So
Yeah.
and then obviously there's nothing you can do when you just get stuck in the water and you can't send anywhere.
Yeah, that's super frustrating. Yeah. Yeah, no, I slept through, thankfully. Otherwise, that would have been another situation where I got up at crazy AM and then everyone would have been raging and I would have not been able to get back to sleep. So,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. All right, shall we move on to some more spillage?
Sure.
Let's see what we got. Now, everybody knows who Mark Cuban is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, our old mate Mark Cuban, he thinks metaverse real estate is the dumbest shit ever. Why, Mark? Why would you say that? So he's pretty well tied up in the NFT crypto space. He's all over the place, and I believe is he one of the people on the US equivalent of Shark Tank, or he was,
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, he is. He's on there.
Yeah, we got different people in Australia, obviously, and I assume other people have around the world. So
He
Mark
also
Cuban is
owns,
telling
like
Oh,
a
sorry, go,
baseball
Max.
team or something. I was just
Mavericks.
saying,
basketball.
or basketball team, right?
Yeah, the Mavericks.
Right.
Yeah, so he's a pretty big name in the space. So for him to come out and say something like that is a little bit kicky in the facey. But he's telling people
also very potentially just a skew of his words, for the article.
could be too, yep, or he could be pulling an Elon Musk and putting something out there to pump his bags. You would never know.
Yeah. Any
Drop
of the
the
above.
price. So yes, so apparently he's not real keen on the old metaverse real estate. So he said in quotes here, the worst part is that people are buying real estate in these places. The Dallas Mavericks owner said in an interview with Altcoin Daily, referring to metaverse platforms like the Sandbox and Decentraland. And of course, that would extend to Upland. That's just the dumbest shit ever, he said. Did I say it was dumb? That's not strong enough. Super meta, immaculately dumb. Okay, cool.
I wouldn't extend it to Upland. I mean, I've been in Sandbox and Decentraland, and they really don't have any utility like Upland does. So hopefully he didn't add that, or he just doesn't know about it. Maybe we should email him or something.
Nice.
Well, and
yeah, and that,
part of the reason that he might find them, dumb or whatever as well is because he's looking at them and they're multi-million-dollar projects, and then he's like, so, well, they have 10,000 monthly users. How is this a business venture? You know what I mean? And so maybe he's not looking at Upland and he doesn't see that we have 250 to 400,000 users a month, and he doesn't see the volume and he doesn't see that side of it.
I agree. I
Yeah.
think we should let him know.
yes.
Everybody email Mark Cuban.
And it's also the point too that Decentraland and Sandbox, they're just completely imaginary worlds, whereas Uplands, all of the virtual real estate is tied to in real life addresses. So that's a
Right.
completely different angle.
And it's built with real life principles as well, so you can add real world value into it.
Yes, absolutely. Now, he did clarify his position a little bit further down, apparently. Cuban added that the only way the concept could even potentially work was based off whether there is a community around it. So there you go. Ding, ding, ding. He said it all comes down to community, where you can create community and what is the impact of that community. After you create a community, then you can find places that, depending on how that community works, that can have perceived value because of access, he explained. But beforehand, based off of a traditional real estate model, dumbest motherfucking shit ever. So that's interesting. He's saying, it sounds like he's essentially saying there when he says perceived value because of access. So that's kind of what we're doing with nodes. Like there's a community there, and we know what happens in neighborhoods where there are communities, that the floor price kind of, whether artificially pumped or naturally, it rises to the point where it's not, fully accessible to new people. And it can also just be a case of supply. So
I wouldn't compare it to a node. I think it goes back to what Max was saying about there's much more traffic in Upland than the other stuff, and anybody can really get in with a new city opening. It's not super exclusive and expensive like the other metaverses that you have to pay thousands of dollars to get land in. That's how I take it anyway.
Yeah, that makes
it also
sense.
One thing that I've been seeing, like, just this concept that I've kind of been seeing come up, there's like this paradigm shift going on almost around value nowadays with cryptocurrency, raising all these questions in people's minds and whatever. But I feel like what Mark Cuban said almost was along the lines of something that we're starting to just see, which is even a lot of people in Bitcoin, right? Why is Bitcoin worth anything? Because people want it to be worth something, or because people deem it's worth something, right? Like it doesn't, you can put value on anything as long as everybody can agree that there's value within that thing. You know what I mean? And like, if, just like if all of a sudden people decided that dollars weren't worth anything to them because they're no longer backed by anything, and just all of that type of stuff, and people decided, well, I don't want that to be worth anything. I want this to be worth something, well, then that's just that's just how it is now, and so I don't think that metaverse assets are any different. I think that's how value works.
I think we should invest in Nuka-Cola caps. Throw away all our dollars.
Yeah. I mean, people always say, well, if they want to FUD on crypto and NFTs and all that sort of stuff, they often bring up the case of, well, what if there's a solar flare and it knocks out the power grid? Like, well, if there's a solar flare and it knocks out the power grid, there's going to be cannibals running through the streets. You're not going to be worried about your bloody digital real estate.
Right? Like, you're not going to have medicine. You're not going to have electricity. The last thing you're going to be concerned about is your paper.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
diversify. Just have some silver and gold on hand.
Yeah, or even just like, machinery and other stuff,
Exactly.
useful stuff in life, tools and whatnot.
Absolutely. All right, now I don't even remember what I had up next. Let me see.
Now I got the Nuka-Cola song in my head. I love Fallout. I'm a huge fan. I replayed Fallout 3 recently, and now I'm replaying Fallout 4 again.
I never played those games, sadly.
Oh, I'm so jelly. Like, I love it when people can experience it from the beginning. I would definitely play Fallout 4. It's amazing.
I will have to play that game.
Or
someday.
New Vegas. New Vegas is good too.
Or you can jump over to the MBE Discord and watch Cheese play.
Yeah, I play every night. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
So Mr. Mark has basically said that it's all just not worth a shit. I don't know how far, of course, that extends to the metaverse in general, because he has only mentioned the real estate aspect of it. Now, one of the things Cheese and I have been talking about on this show since it started is how in real life companies are going to get more and more involved. Now, has anybody heard of the company called Netflix?
Yes.
So Netflix has entered the Decentraland Metaverse to promote some new movie by Ryan
Gosling.
I did save that movie as one to watch because it did look pretty interesting. I don't really care about old mate Ryan and his movie, but what is interesting to me is that Netflix has taken the time to get involved in a metaverse in a kind of advertising role.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really awesome. I like that.
So it says here, the media giant's announcement indicates a wider trend in which brands enter the metaverse hoping to find new avenues to engage with customers and create new revenue streams. Netflix will likely monitor the success of this initiative in hopes that it can generate high levels of consumer engagement with future movies. So yeah, they're just dipping their massive toe into the Decentraland pie. So that will be interesting. And then, of course, it mentions a whole bunch of different companies, JP Morgan, Fidelity, all the ones we've been talking about for ages. So here we go here. However, a major drawback of early metaverse adoption is that spaces often feel empty and non-interactive as users come and go intermittently. While major companies may feel pressure to jump into the metaverse hype, doing so without sufficient consideration for a wider digital strategy only provides a level of buzz marketing that fades quickly. But the whole bloody space is we're in that early buzz market thing. Everybody's kind of dabbling to find out even just what can be done.
Yeah, I mean, we are still in beta in pretty much all respects, you know.
Yep. Absolutely. It arguably makes sense for companies to promote events or competitions at scheduled times to get users into these space at the same time, thereby maximizing the metaverse's interactive potential. I mean, that goes with any online game, you know, unless there's been major hype around it and there is a massive community already in place, like through alpha releases or early beta testing. It's very often the case with these online games that, you know, the first couple of months or whatever, until it gets traction, yeah, it's a bit of a ghost town. You have to pick your times. You know, you need to be there at prime time. It's not until you get to a kind of global user base that you can just jump into these things at any time, and there's a lot of action going on. So, I don't know, Cheese. What's your take on this?
I heard something. I don't know if it was Decentraland or Sandbox, where the people weren't happy about these big names coming in, and they were actually having protests
in their metaverse.
Yeah. Isn't that cute?
Imagine that.
Like, they need these people in there to be quiet. I mean, I get it. You don't want it to be run by these. You want it to be from bottom up, but you do need a presence of it, you know?
Right. Or at least
Absolutely.
like it's it's definitely going to be hard to coexist in a global market if the global market doesn't respect the sector.
Yeah, it's I mean, I mentioned something about this in the UDU server, I think that was last night, where we're talking about our, where did I put it? I can't find it. About our outdoor decor business that's about to open. And, you know, we've been talking that we expect at some stage Upland's going to announce some massive big partnership with some kind of outdoor decor company. You know, I'm just putting that out there. I don't think it would happen, but you never know. Something like IKEA or someone, imagine a big massive brand like IKEA or someone coming on board and what they could do, like if they were given a factory the same size as like the Meta Motors factory or something like that. I fully expect that will happen, and a lot of the player run stuff will kind of go down into niche market territory. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out.
That's interesting because I had a conversation about basically the same thing, and we came to the same pretty much conclusion that there's going to be a handful of Walmarts and whatever, and then everybody else, if you want to, it's going to be hard to produce on level with them. So you're going to have to be able to have something exclusive,
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's cool because that's exactly the mindset we're on too. So. What else does it say here? Netflix may be onto something important with the Grey Man and its interactive maze strewn with digital prizes along the way. There we go. That's what we've been talking about, Cheese, where these big companies that get involved, if they want to get more fully in the space, it's not about reinventing the wheel. It's just adding, things like NFT collectibles and that to services they're already underway with. So I think that's pretty cool.
So what do you like? I'm just curious. So, because obviously, there's a ton of people just hopping on the NFT train. You know what I mean? But what do you guys think? How do you think it's gonna go? Like, is it gonna? Is the hype gonna go away? Like, is there? When everybody has released NFTs, are NFTs going to be special anymore, or is it going to be it's going to be the same thing as a poster that you'd put up in your room or something like that?
I think it depends on the project. I think it depends on the activity of the NFT creator. Utility will play a big part, but I don't think that'll be the only thing. I think it will be a chance to kind of collect a kind of memento from some of your favorite artists. I know people who don't kind of rug pull and don't overpromise, they'll stay in the good graces because they're not trying to kind of get you to buy their stuff by empty promises. For example, I won't tell you that my NFTs will give you anything great. It's just kind of a commemorative collection item from each of our shows, which you can actually even get for free if you do the challenge within the show. So if I am able, we have added some utility to it, wherein if you complete certain challenges that we create every so often, like own everyone, you're privy to special insights, sneak peeks and stuff like that. You're in the Legends area. I do hope to have more. I think going forward it's just gonna be a factor of activity, in my opinion.
It's like anything new with this space. Hype projects will come and go. They'll fizzle and die because there's nothing there. There will be projects and we've seen this, where teams of people get together to do things, and whether it becomes the financials aren't there or their own in real life situation takes over, they kind of lose interest or whatever. I think that's pretty natural. But yeah, Cheese is right. I think where utility is the key, and I personally think that the vast majority of the utility that's going to come with NFTs is going to be unknown, like your driver's license, your marriage, birth certificates, all that kind of boring paperwork sort of stuff.
Right. You make them. That's a good point. I guess it's hard to even realize the scale to which NFTs can just be used to just track things, as opposed to have to even be something.
Yeah, there's always going to be the collector aspect of it, like with Cheese's NFTs, because since I was a kid, you're collecting football cards. I used to collect Formula One cards, and you'd get 10 cards with a piece of bubble gum and all that sort of stuff. There's always going to be that aspect of it.
Yeah, or Pokemon cards, or the whole. Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's okay. And we're only in the very beginning stages too, so I think people keep referring to it as like a bubble. I don't think it's a bubble. I think it's just going to come in waves. There's going to be waves of hype, and then like at the moment, it's kind of died down. We've seen prices depress. It's pretty much going to follow the same cycle that the crypto markets do. You know,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Everyone and their grandma's FOMO in for a couple of years, and then everyone's fighting like hell, and it's a scam and all the rest of it. But
Just classic human psychology, basically.
yeah, the trajectory is going up.
Right.
So, yeah, so just it just comes back to community too. I think it's just protect yourself, and I mean, you can get wrecked very quick if you go try and chase hype and that sort of thing. So
yeah, I've never.
Alright,
I don't deal in that. So
don't deal in hype.
yeah, I mean, like in Upland, I kind of do, but I feel like I'm comfortable in the Upland market, you know. So like, you know, I did what I could when you know, when the Rio release dropped, and I was in there and just flipping stuff just immediately, because everything will sell for twice as much if you just flip it immediately, you know.
Absolutely. Cheese and I are hopeless. We're hopelessly married to most of our properties, so it's always a bit harder.
Yeah, it's always something I have to like ask myself. I'm like, so do I want to sit on this one because I really like it, or do I want to move forward and keep growing, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're at the stage 2. Did you say you just reached director?
Yeah, I'm waiting for Spark Week, which I actually just got the notification for on my phone,
Nice.
so I can
Yeah.
level up.
Yeah, that kind of the grind from pro to director is a tough one, but then the next grind from director to executive is real tough. So you're definitely at that kind of growth stage of your account for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, this next article, NTV opens a metaverse experience to promote the Video Music Awards. So this is another one where some real life stuff is getting involved in the space. So I thought this was really cool. I used to devour MTV back in the day and all the Beavis and Butthead and all the rest of it.
Roblox destination. That's really cool.
Yeah. Now,
gonna-
it was Samsung we were talking about. Samsung was also, a couple of episodes ago, Samsung was branching out and getting involved in Roblox. So Roblox seems to be making a bit of well, it's not really underground, but they're definitely working away and getting heavily involved in the space.
Internet resurrected the radio star.
Well done. Well
You're
done.
way too young for that reference.
No. Old souls. Metaverse has a bunch of old souls, and I love it. Well
yeah.
done.
So yeah, the Video Music Awards experience will run inside Roblox from August the 12th to September the 3rd and include games and rewards for users. Now that's always going to be the key, like we just mentioned, like the rewards for users, that's what's really going to get people in. So yeah, they're opening up a virtual experience on Roblox Corp's gaming platform. The temporary installation is a companion to a new category that MTV has added to the awards show this year to recognize the best musical performance in the metaverse.
Wow.
Ah,
Would that
cool.
be Travis Scott in Fortnite?
It could be, yeah. Like there's Justin Bieber. There's a whole bunch of people that have done it. It has been clunky. It has been, you know, that's been bug ridden and that sort of thing. But it's in the very early stages. So if MTV's,
I hope it's somebody that is new and not like a famous.
Oh, like the metaverse brings up its own music industry.
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna get like the
amazing.
Nasty Hooks in there or something.
Yeah, they
That's
do
cool.
our show opening song. It's cool.
And you mentioned Travis Scott. There you go. Look, Travis artists such as Charlie XCX, BTS, Travis Scott have staged concerts on virtual platforms such as Fortnite, Minecraft, and Roblox.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Just a disclaimer: I don't play Fortnite.
There's nothing wrong with Fortnite. I am a big video gamer. I'm
a PUBG fan.
Fortnite, but I got into Overwatch. Do you play Overwatch?
No, if I'm gonna play like a shooter like that, it's probably gonna be PUBG.
All right.
Or if I'm on my Xbox, I'm playing Minecraft or Forza. So Maybe
I have
Assassin's Creed.
Forza. Yeah, I have Forza. Hey, you like Minecraft? What about 7 Days to Die?
I don't I don't know if I remember that game very well. I know I've
I'll
heard of
talk
it or
to you
I've
more
seen it, but
offline.
okay.
I don't want that.
The chief marketing officer of Paramount Media Networks and MTV Entertainment Studios has said one of the most exciting things about it is that it brings the VMA experience to people wherever they are in the world. So the VMA experience will include 3 games, starting with one on August the 12th and adding a new one each Friday until the award show on August 28th. Players can stock up on chances to vote for the best Metaverse performance by collecting MTV logo tokens throughout the experience and by playing games. Ugh, so the community is going to vote. That's cool. MTV's VMA experience was created with Super League Gaming Incorporated, a game publisher that has previously designed games for MTV and other Paramount properties. There you go. This is for that slightly older Roblox gamer who's starting to identify heavily with music and is really about to enter that entry point of becoming an MTV viewer. So that's probably like your tweens and your teenagers.
That sounds like an extremely tight niche.
Yeah, well, maybe that's their target niche for their actual MTV stats. I don't know, but
maybe I don't know. I don't know. The order that they put that in is like first you have to play Roblox, and then you have to start getting interested in music, and at that point, then we want you to start to look at MTV. And I don't know.
You know what though? There is something there because my 2 youngest children both play Roblox, and my middle child, Keanu, he plays Roblox, and he started like when we're sitting down for dinner, he'll say, "Hey Google, can you play?" And he'll say some bloody Roblox song or something. So there is something to it where he started playing the game, and then he's got drawn into the soundtrack, and he's looking to expand in what's happening musical wise. So
okay,
something there.
No, I see.
I'm not exactly sure what, but there's definitely something there. So that's cool. Super League and MTV will promote the Roblox experience using social media influencers who will share their gameplay and other Roblox games via virtual billboards that they can transport the user to the VMA experience. MTV's push into the Metaverse with an award show category and Roblox experience will encourage the music industry to create more virtual experiences, some Metaverse specialists say. Yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. I'm not super excited about what this means for now, but what it means for, moving forward. The fact that music is going fluidly into this space now means that culture will follow closely behind it. Yeah, I mean, previously, if you wanted to be on MTV, well, you would have to have a record deal. You would have to have, mass marketing behind you. But now with the YouTube generation and that sort of thing, anybody sitting on their couch with a guitar or a microphone or whatever, and if they build a community, they could end up winning the bloody MTV award. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can take up singing lessons, Cheese. Belt out a few tunes.
I
take that as a no.
I can get on my guitar if you want to sing.
Oh, you don't want to hear me sing. That's cool though. You play guitar. I used to play guitar when I was a teenager, long time ago, and I had this Metallica book, and instead of teaching you notes, it told you exactly where to put your fingers.
Oh yeah,
I loved it. I was able to play the one song that I was able to do really, really well was Unforgiven. The pre solo and then the solo do 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 do. Oh my god. All right. So yeah, I could probably play guitar with you, but not sing.
Okay.
Let's pour us a hot cup of Maxdaemon. Who are you? How'd you get into the metaverse? How'd you get into racing? Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your racetrack.
Yeah. So username's Maxdaemon. My actual name is Chevy.
That's a
my
cool
birth
name.
name. And so I don't know. I've always been like cars are just in my family. I mean, like literally got named after one, you know. um, so and my dad runs an auto repair shop. My grandparents own it, and my grandpa started it like 45 years ago or something like that now. Um, so cars have always been just around me. My dad has raced my whole life. My grandpa's raced my whole life. I started racing quarter midgets when I was 5 years old. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Now, quarter midgets, is that what you call the dirt speedway ones without the wing on top?
So we ran them. Some of them do run on dirt. We ran on pavement, but they're basically the sprint cars. So the ones that have the big wings, you know,
Yep.
but tiny. They're just little miniature
Yes.
versions, and they don't have
Yeah.
wings.
Yeah, I had
So
because I raced Formula V open wheelers and karts for many years, and I actually one of the friends that I had in karting, I moved to the Formula V open wheelers, and he moved into the midgets, we call it, that category. It's the same sort
mhm,
of thing on dirt,
right.
and about a year in, we organised to have he was going to have a drive in my car, and I was going to have a drive in his car.
Hmm.
One weekend, he came into the track and tested my race car, and the week that I was supposed to test his car, he rode it off in a big massive crash. So I missed out. It's one of
Oh,
the regrets that I never got to have a go in one because the power on those things is just incredible.
oh yeah. I mean, like obviously you can't, you know, well, a man can dream, but I cannot wait to have a full size sprint car.
Absolutely. Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah. Other than that, I'm 20 years old. I got into the metaverse and like into this space. Back at my old job that I was working, I just had hours on end, just like doing just mundane, you know, I work in a machine shop doing finishing, so just like really tedious work all day. So I have 8 hours a day to just sit there and consume music information, you know, whatever. So I was just on YouTube, listening to people talk about crypto, talk about market psychology, just the whole thing, kind of trying to educate myself as much as I can, and while I'm young too, because um, I'd like to learn as much as I can right now, so that when I actually get to the point that I have the means to execute something, I won't need to um monkey around with that, you know.
And that's amazing. Like, I just want to jump in right there. Like, I'm always impressed when we have somebody so young on the show, like you and Josh, that has so much ambition for this the metaverse and blockchain and stuff within, like, projects within the metaverse, like the racing and whatnot. Like, it's always very impressive. And you know, just keep going at it, keep learning, and you're gonna have so much of an advantage in the years coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive advantage. Like my wife often marvels. Like we'll be driving to go somewhere, and I know every song on the radio because, like you, Max. I left school when I was 15, and I worked in factories, manufacturing factories, for 8 years or something. But back in my day, we all we could really do is have the radio on in the background nonstop to try and drown out the noise of the machinery. So yeah,
Right.
nowadays kids with their AirPods and that, and sit there watching or listening to YouTube and that sort of thing. Man,
Yeah.
pretty sweet deal.
Yeah. So I just consumed a lot of information that way, and then I'm also just a very spiritual or religious type of person. Like I don't know that I guess I won't get too much into it or whatever, but I have like clairvoyant abilities, whatever you want to call it. But
Cool.
you know, I feel like I sense reality different than a lot of people, and so um, just having, you know, keeping myself growing spiritually and uh, making sure I know what's going on in that way is also just really helpful to like keep me, you know, where I'm supposed to be, keep me aligned with my own life and aligned with the things that that I believe in, that I care about, and then from there, I can take it and know that this is something that I care about and put my all into it.
That's very cool. Now this
is
image
cool.
is out of control. What's the story behind this? Where did this come from? Who created this?
Yeah. So, one of my buddies, he's in our Discord server. He's helping me with the track. His username's Quick10OK. And I had the tracks kind of drawn out, on top of the map. It just like went in Snapchat and drew the map lines on there. And a couple people were like, "Can we get better maps?" Something just because obviously it wasn't the best. And so he was like, "Yeah, here I can do that." So he just donated his talent and his work to the group and gave us all that branding and all those maps, everything he did for us. So
he did a great job. Well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're
There-
listening on the Spotify, Max, he's got, it's essentially like a 3D map showing the track. It's very like low poly sort of stuff, but it's looks really cool with 3D buildings all popped up all around the track, and it's right on the bay. Yeah, it looks very, very awesome.
Yeah, I thought they
Wow.
were real
Oh, an
eye-catching.
overhead shot. That's cool.
Yeah. So this track is in Rio, obviously in Botafogo, and that northern loop of it is in Flamengo. But so the track was inspired by we were just talking about it earlier, Forza. I've played a lot of Forza Motorsport 6. Like I've got a month's worth of time in that game.
Nice.
I have so many hours on that game. But this track is, so the roads don't line up exactly because the map is not it's not like the real roads don't go that way. So this is the closest that I could get. And then I also heard later that there's a Need for Speed race or a Need for Speed run in the same area, which I thought was cool. And that was just the reason that I even tried to go for it. I was just like, hey, obviously in the Metaverses is kind of just a little bit, like a gaming tech kind of community, and I feel like a lot of the racing sim drivers, there's a lot of people that love racing simulator games, so I feel like this track would just be familiar to them. And
Absolutely.
Now
Cheese, can you go back to that overhead? Oh, sorry. Finish what you're going to say.
I was gonna say this is like I know this is a shortened version of the full racetrack.
Yeah. So we have the full circuit, which is that one, and then we've got it's just like a sprint circuit. So
All right.
maybe for smaller events or smaller cars or just whatever we want to do,
Yeah.
give us options. That's also oh, sorry, that small circuit is also in Forza. So
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That on the left-hand side there, that tunnel, is that in the actual game or is that like an artistic interpretation?
So in the game in Forza, it does run through a tunnel. So technically, after you finish that beach stretch right there, you would take a right turn, somewhere in that area where your mouse just was.
Yeah.
And it would take you up towards a different tunnel, which does actually exist in the real world, but it's like 2 miles away from that area. So they just kind of chopped it and put it together. But there is actually a tunnel in the game, but it's not technically the same tunnel, but that worked out really well anyways. And I'm not, hopefully that'll work out in Upland, because I haven't seen or heard of.
That'll look sick, because like we've seen like Thank Me Later and Russell MB and a few others were sharing the visuals of the cars going through Midtown Terrace with all the buildings. I imagine that'd look really cool if there was like an actual tunnel that they can overlay with the cars go through. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, so I'm that's gonna be cool. But yeah, and then also there was that drag strip. Do you have the image that has the little red strip? Yeah, right there. So we've got a little drag strip. It'll just be a little quarter-mile drag strip, but it'll run through the tunnel too. And so right as you come out of the tunnel and cross that road right there, that'll be the finish line.
That's cool.
Make sure you got your earphones on.
Yeah.
Drag cars in a tunnel. Whoa. Yeah, that's cool. That'd be
I
an
think it's gonna be
incredible
cool.
visual if they can pull all that off.
Yeah. And so we do have the track sanctioned on the URL, or by the URL. All three pieces, the north part, the whole circuit, and then that drag strip as well. So we're over our 40% ownership, and yeah, we're pretty much ready to go. We're just waiting on further development, you know.
I like this. This looks so cool.
Yes, I've been really slacking on the URL side of things with the Midtown Terrace tracks because I've just been smashed with the Samurai Aquatic stuff. But yeah, no, this is all looking very, very incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, is the person that did those maps up for you, is that something they're looking to set up as their own like meta venture outside of like officially in Upland? Is that something that they're willing to do for other racetrack owners and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I haven't like talked to him directly about it, but I know that he's in contact with C4 and one or two of those other guys that are in the design and development side, trying to do the 3D modeling and all that. So as far as I know, he plans on doing quite a bit more work, in Upland, trying to get stuff like that for us. So
awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if he's planning on running his own business. I'm not sure what he's got going on there, but
very cool. This is the drag strip here, is it? The in
Yeah.
real life version. Yeah. Oh, very cool. And that's that map there is the kind of generic one that we've all been doing.
yeah,
But yeah, it's cool to see you take that to the next level. Yeah, and like that one there with the like you just said, you've just drawn it on. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't do that one. I didn't include the pictures to you guys of the ones that I drew because they weren't that nice. So
Yes.
That's cool.
Now, can you talk about the planning that you did leading up to the release of Rio to secure this? Like, how did you go about that? Was it people you already had in place that you were connected with, or what was that journey like?
yeah, so credit. I mean, kind of back to the Woodhood. I think I came up with the idea there. Just talking with a couple of guys in the Discord because that community is so cool. There's always great people to talk to in there. But so I don't know. We were just kind of bouncing ideas around, talking, and was like, hey, I should try and do that. Or and so I just offered it to them first, all the guys that are in there, and was like, hey, come help me do this. And I had a couple of people that were interested, and then I drew up the track and went to the URL and submitted them or started the ticket process for submitting them. And Dak and Mass both came and joined the party, and then Dak messaged Musita for me, the player of the year last year. So I reached out to him, talked to him, and ended up getting him involved, and he's my co-commissioner for the track.
He's a good guy. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. And then just I've been around racing, since the cars came out. I've been paying as much attention to that as I can. So I've got a few friends in the metaverse that were interested in that too. Like D864 D or something like that. He runs the Upland Auto Group, so he jumped in there with me and a couple of those guys. Really just reaching out to everybody that I know, all my networks, all my contacts of just anybody who might be interested. Hey, come down here. We're gonna mint up this racetrack in Rio. also K Curry.
Okay, Curry.
Yeah,
Yep.
he jumped in. He's been a big help too. He's been helping me just keep tabs on a lot of stuff. So it's been cool.
That's really nice. I love the networking and the reaching out. It's so awesome. It's so important in the space as well.
Yeah,
So good
and
on you.
yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I hadn't seen anything in Rio yet, so I was like, this is a great opportunity, you know. I mean, obviously, I hadn't seen anything in Rio yet. It hadn't been released, so um, I don't know. I just was like, let's do it, and it was kind of partially just a test, you know, too, of like, so how big of a deal is it really to do something like this? You know, how kind of like testing for myself the proof of concept of, you know, Upland. Can I actually go just build something and you know, create something myself? And I mean, you know, here we are. So
It's a little
it's
seed
yeah,
you've planted.
yeah. And I think I was at like, you know, I was like a 800,000 net worth pro when I decided to start. So it's not like you have to be anything special, you know. I mean,
Yep.
I just went for
Absolutely.
it.
And it
Reach out
goes to
to
Cheese's
everyone I knew.
point too, where it's really about the community. Like you can put squillions of dollars in and buy up, as we have seen some people do, and buy up vast swathes of areas, but unless you've got a community behind you, I mean, I don't know,
Right. So,
it
and
can
then
make it tough.
yeah, and obviously I want to oh, I mean I want to keep this track alive in the metaverse, you know. I don't want it to die in in Forza Motorsport or, you know, wherever. So uh
Yeah, well,
that too
if
just
you,
oh,
well, I was just
sorry,
going to
just
say it's you definitely sound like you're extremely passionate about it, and if you got somebody like Musita on board, I mean, Cheese and I always talk about, and we released a video just yesterday about how any sort of community requires leadership. So if you guys are at the forefront and leading at the front, yeah, it's really up to you where you want to take it.
right. And then obviously I leave it up to the members of the group, you know. We have our Discord server, and I try and, you know, leave everything up to a vote or ask people's opinions. What do you think of this? You know, I'm always very aware of any sort of you know, discrepancies that people may have, or just, you know, any way that somebody can provide a perspective that I might be able to see something that I'm missing, you know.
Yep.
And so I don't know. I like I do I mean, like, yes, I am the one, you know, running it and leading it and kind of making it happen, but like it wouldn't happen if it wasn't for everybody else. So all,
Yep.
you know, if it was just me, I'd have my 15 properties on the track and nobody else would care, you know.
Yeah.
So
That's kind of chicken and egg thing, though. It's, you know,
right.
is it active because there's a community, or is it active because there's someone leading the community? It's one of those funny things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, and I just kind of try to keep it going around, you know. I feel like that's my job more than anything, is to make sure that the community is happy, right?
Yeah. And is
So
this something that you're looking to expand on in the future, or are you just knuckling down to work with what you've got for the time being?
what exactly do you mean?
Like you've started this, I guess it's kind of almost a racetrack node. Is that something
Right.
you want to branch out into, whether it be other, like a sister city track, or other areas, or are you just focused on this one venture for the time being?
Um, well, for right now, I'm just focused on this track. I don't think I want to um spread myself any thinner. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
want to really focus on this. But that being said, there's still so much to do. And all of the different groups. Sorry, excuse me.
All right.
all of the different groups that I'm partnered with, like the UAG, and like the MMVM race team with Matsuda R. Gosh, who else? Upland Realty, working with them to get developed. Just a handful of others, kind of just logistics of how I've just really been focusing on logistics of how are we going to get attention down here, and then also how are we going to be able to provide that back to to our sponsors and to our partners. How can we help each other the best? I even reached out to Matsuda and asked him about the race team. Hey, is there anything that we can offer you as a track, as a community? Is there anything that we can do for you? And vice versa. There's this or this that we could use help with. Is there anything that we can help you with, and we can help each other?
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's very good to hear, because it was kind of a not a trick question or a leading question, but I was kind of fishing to see where your head was at, because a lot of people that we see, and even ourselves as part of the UDU in the early stages, we fell into the feature creep trap. So did I say crap? Trap. So yeah. So we come up with a project. Okay, we're going to do this, and then somebody else comes up with a brilliant idea. Okay, let's do that, and then let's do this, and let's do that, and then before you know it, you've got all these things. And when you actually look at what's being done, there's nothing being done except setting up new things to be done. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I've tried to take really as much as I can. I've tried to absorb as much of everything that Idon and Dirk and just the whole team. Anytime I can hear them talk on an AMA or anything, I am listening 100%, because I think some of those guys, they're just brilliant, and I love the work that they're doing. And but also, if I'm gonna build something on top of something that they built, like I should understand my foundation before I build, and then build something that works well with that foundation. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so, like, really, I've just been focused, on making sure that we have like really long-term things set up, and that we can really last and really provide what everybody wants from us, but also keep it organized in a way that it's not just a rabbit trail. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a whole establishment is kind of what I want it to be. And I even plan on, or hopefully we can just absolutely cover the sides of the tracks with businesses and cafes, restaurants, bars, a lot of like tire shops, repair shops, upgrade shops.
I can't wait
just
till
all
they
that
put
type
the
of stuff.
cafes. That's gonna be so much fun, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so, like, really, I mean, even in real life, like, we're almost really modeling it off of real life. I mean, I've been trying to do that a little bit. It's like I've even in the construction chat in our Discord, some people are like, what's the plan? What are we trying to build? And we kind of just came up with, well, why not do it more or less modeled off real life? I mean, this area over here, you could pull up one of the maps if you wanted, but it's not a big deal. But like that northern loop is all just skyscrapers and in big, huge apartment buildings and condos and
in
stuff.
real life.
Right.
Yep.
And so for the most part, that's I think what everybody's planning on trying to put up over there. And then down on that south side, and where it's got that little curves, that's a really popular business area. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of bars, a lot of shops right there. So, I think that'd be a really cool spot to do that. And then because I want to actually be able to attract players to the track. Like I want, you know what I mean? I want to be able to bring I want the track and that whole area to be like a hotspot for just activity. I want to build a lot of like because I see a lot of nodes and a lot of groups that build build their community there, but then how many of their players actually sit there or hang out there or participate in things in that actual area, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I want I want it to be super lively, I want to
Well, it's a segue to, and it's interesting that you mentioned foundations and that. What's your underlying motivation for all this? Like we see some people come into the space, and even in the way they talk about their project, it's to increase the property price that they can sell for a profit. Whereas, are you someone who comes from an entertainment sort of thing, or what's your motivation personally?
So really, I mean, like I can't lie and say that making money isn't attractive by right.
Well, nobody wants to lose money, so yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And but I really I don't know, I just want to it's partially that I want to see this track alive, and I want to bring all of the community and all of the energy that I love from Forza Motorsport and from those kind of games, from that community, and I want to be able to bring it here and preserve it as much as I can, because I've spent so much time on that game, and I just
you want to
it's
like take your passion and bring it into something else that you love and make something big and like put your foothold. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's partially that, and then partially like really almost like a test of the game of Upland, you know what I mean? Like to prove to myself and anybody else just exactly how big of a project you can just take on, or how long you can make something last, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
if you put the effort in, yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know, I just want to see it's just a test of the game and the mechanics to see, is this really a viable scenario,
Oh, that's awesome. Well, what's the in real life vibe with your friends and family in regards to the whole NFT metaverse space?
I mean, I have a handful of friends that I talk about it with. I don't know. There's not a lot of people around me that pay a lot of attention to it, or if they do, it's because I've mentioned it to them.
And they roll their eyes. Oh, here he goes again. That's what I get.
Yeah. Sometimes.
It's funny. Like most of the people that we speak to, it is like that. It's like this one person, air quotes, gets it, and there's not many people that are, especially in the Upland community, that are kind of half-assing it. If you're in, you're kind of all in, and that's what you're all about, sort of thing. But it's just so funny that we're all like in real life, we're all like these little individual islands of enthusiasm and engagement. But when we all connect together, it creates something special. I wonder what's going to be the trigger point where everybody else kind of gets it and gets on board. It's going to be like all those people that talked about Bitcoin back in 2010 or whatever, and then 2017, 2018. Oh, tell me about that Bitcoin stuff again. What were you talking about?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they need to experience it without knowing they're doing it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, all right, this isn't that bad. This is actually pretty cool." Like, for example, I went to the Vegas event, and I brought my husband, and he's very reluctant to be in this space. He didn't understand it before, and I would talk to him about it, and like he would just kind of like kind of wait until I was finished, sort of thing, like being nice, but like hoping I would be done soon. So when he came to me and he saw how big it was, and he saw how much of a kerfuffle they made about it, like with the whole party and the AMA and the event, and everybody knew me, and it still kind of like weirds me out how people are like, "Oh yeah, I watch your show, you're great," and this and that, and I'm like, I'm just a cheese. But it feels good, and he saw that, and he's like, wow, this is pretty good. And then Yeah, he won a property at the AMA, and he was so excited. So it was hard to even get him to log in every day to get his spark, but now he does it, and he got
That's cool.
0.03, and I was like, you bastard.
Rude.
I've
Yeah.
never gotten that before. So yeah, I think they need to experience it and just see how big it really is, because right now all they think is, you're just a bunch of people online,
Yeah. Well, and
With your weird internet friends. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think that's like why we're even here. You know what I mean? Nobody around me is ever gonna hear about it or care if they don't hear about it because I care.
Yeah.
Like we're the ones bringing this to the world. And it's like the energy that we're giving to this, is energy that it's the exact same thing as mining Bitcoin, right? We're just
Yep.
mining sentiment.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah. Mining engagement almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheese has recently worked with DTech and myself, who are running the Samurai Aquatics outdoor decor business, to put together an advertisement that we are hoping to release soon. When we eventually share that in the space, the people who are in Upland and know what it's all about, most of them are going to get it and appreciate it. But if I was to show this ad to my real life family, that friggin' think I lost my damn mind and put me in the nut house. They're like, "What the?"
You said your
fuck are you
wife
doing?"
laughed at it. Your wife and
She did
kids laughed.
eventually. Yeah. She did eventually.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. I can't wait to share it with everybody. Oh my
Yeah, so-
god. I gave Ben a script to read. I
Yeah,
told him,
if-
be
if-
as greasy as you can be like a car salesman, and he nailed it. And I edited it, I put it together, I put some effects in there. It's amazing. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but that's if I was to post that on my Facebook for the friends and family and cousins, they'd think I'd lost my damn mind. So it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
I can't wait to
What's
share it.
next on your to-do list as far as setting up the racetrack and getting things up and running? Obviously, you'd want to secure a car for yourself. Hopefully, you get one
Tomorrow.
tonight or tomorrow for you guys. Yep.
Yeah, I'll have to
anything
sell
else?
one or two more things, but
Yeah. You got some cans you can recycle quick or something? Might be able to sell that. Is that a blue couch or a blue sideboard there beside you?
Oh, it's a bed.
Oh, there you go. Get on Craigslist.
Yeah.
Sell the wife's girlfriend's bed.
The
Yeah.
girlfriend's mom's bed.
Oh, what did I say? The wife's girlfriend? Oh,
I
yeah.
was
The
like,
girlfriend's
Like,
mum's
what?
bed.
Hmm.
Apologies.
Didn't know they did that in
Hashtag worst show
Australia.
ever. Yeah.
Good one. Good one.
Touche. That was good. I like it. Yeah. So what's next on the list?
Well,
World
obviously-
domination. Sorry.
waiting for further development, of course, is, that's that we're all sitting here waiting for that. Really, I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna do it yet, but I want this, I want to make this one of the most prestigious race event locations in the metaverse. I want it to be one of the big circuits. Just like any of them, like sheesh, I don't know, Circuit of the Americas, or I don't know, I can think of like 10 American tracks. I can't think of any others, but or like Yas Marinas or something like that. I don't know. I just but I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out yet, because we don't actually have the functionality of racing,
Yeah. Well, I have 2 questions for you.
Yeah.
All right. So if you had to bring attention to this racetrack, where would people go to find out about it? Where is your ideal location for people to go to get educated about it?
So that would be our Discord server. I do have a Twitter account now too, for the track, but all of the like old information, all of the roots of it, are in the Discord server. So
So if we were to make a challenge on this show to get a Maxdaemon racetrack exclusive NFT to commemorate this episode, we would then tell them to go to your Discord, tag Morecheese. You have to send me an invite if I'm not there already.
Right.
Tag Morecheese, and what would they say? Like, can't wait to race. I can't wait to come watch a race or something.
Yeah, something like that. Or
Right. And I got one more question for you.
yeah.
All right. If you had to put some sort of decor on your racetrack to kind of catch eyes, or something that you would personally really like, what kind of decor would you want?
Like, I don't know, this might sound kind of ironic, but it might just be signage, like just different signage from different auto groups and different car related stuff, you know. I mean, I
All
feel
right.
like that's what would make it a racetrack to
All
me,
right.
you know, having banners and signs and just everything everywhere, you know.
So Metaventurous, I don't know who out there in outdoor decor world are making signs, but you heard it right here. There is a a one for it. So
Yeah, it's like any racetrack you see, like this is Caltech's corner or something, and there's like 50 Caltech signs all along.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. It
I also
definitely
have
creates the vibe.
yeah. I also have in terms of decor and stuff like that. So and this is just my kind of personal project on some properties that I own on the track. But it's going to be like for the track. I'm naming it Nelson Mandela Square because it's on Rua Nelson and Mandela, and I have these 3 properties that just kind of take up a whole strip. And so I'm going to build like a couple of apartment buildings and maybe 1 or 2 others that'll be like shops. And then in the middle, I just want like a park or like a courtyard, you know, like a little town square. And I think it'd be really cool to have like a big like a water fountain in the middle of it or something, you know, with
yeah,
some
A
flowers
water
and some
fountain.
benches and stuff.
we
I
have
wonder who's making a water fountain.
we have some cool water.
Oh,
Yeah, but I don't know if we have a scary dragon on ours.
Yeah. There'll be no end of things. Well, once that whole Metaventure is opened up to the Upland public, yeah, there'll be no end of things that come out of that
yeah.
for sure.
So
And
it'll
you
be
said
exciting.
Alright.
what was the name on there?
Nelson Mandela or the road.
Yeah, Nelson Mandela. I have a Mandela garden in Manhattan, in Harlem.
No way.
Yeah. It was
That's
really it was so cheap too. It was 75K UPX. So I just grabbed it and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And it's like a park. Like a garden, a little garden. I thought that was so
That's
cool. I'm
pretty
like,
cool.
oh, Nelson Mandela. Yeah, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Maybe we can have a little
Crossover.
what would you call
Yeah.
that? Like yeah,
Yeah.
crossover.
Yeah.
Somewhere to park your race cars, like fish.
Get your car off my park.
For
For a nice
semi-trailer
barbecue.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Semi-trailer tracks through the grass.
Is there anything you want to kind of like leave us, unless you have any more questions, Ben?
No, I think we're good.
Yeah, is there anything you want to leave us off with? Anything we need to absolutely positively know before we wrap this up?
Oh man, actually, yeah, hold on, I do.
Ooh.
But it's in my notes, so I gotta find it real quick.
Lord, yeah.
I thought of this last night and I had to bring it up. Oh, okay. So so I had this thought last night, and right, so obviously right now for me, I'm in the beginning stages with this racetrack, right? Like obviously we're still in alpha, like it's still just in the beginning, right? And so I had this thought, and I was like, yeah, wait, so there's cars and everything. We just introduced cars, so transportation is going to be a thing, yada, yada, etc. So since this is in the metaverse, why is it just cars? Why aren't we making hoverboards? Why aren't we making you know, little airships? Why aren't we making submarines and stuff? Like,
do you know that like you will be able to, I heard this from a Goldie, that we'll be able to have Metaventures for creating our own vehicles. So this can absolutely positively be done. Like if you're looking into stuff like that for a Metaventure in the future, I would love to see Maxdaemon's hoverboard. You know, that would be so cool.
It's like the Subway Surfers hoverboard or something.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool. I would want one. Definitely.
Or even like jetpacks and stuff. Like just strap on a jetpack and fly over to I don't know, Manhattan from Queens or something. Like
the jetpack in Fallout 4, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's cool. I like that.
But I don't know. That was just my thought.
Hey, think big.
There's endless opportunity there.
Exactly. Think big, have goals, you know, plan it out. I always tell everybody, you got an idea, start planning for it, create kind of like a time thing, keep looking, make suggestions, give feedback. I can see it. I can see it happening. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. This was great. I'm gonna wrap this up, Ben. Should I wrap this up, Ben?
Yeah, it's been good ones. We love getting super enthusiastic people on board with coming up with great ideas and seeing them through. So, yep, get us out of here, cheese.
Stay fresh, cheese bags.
Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Talk wine and cheese, motherfucker. Go ahead, get your pinky up. Go ahead, get your pinky up. You let fire samurai ride on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get after right. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. You let fire samurai ride on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky. You let fire samurai ride on the dingo, flying through the sky. Cheese in the house, get after right. Hit you with the hairbrush, hit you with the knife. You let fire samurai ride on the dingo, flying through the sky. Hit you with the knife, flying through the sky.